This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, calling the meeting to the work session to order at 6:09 p.m. We have some executive session stuff we have to go through, but we're going to start with the August 18th storm state of emergency. Okay, so we all know that there was a storm on August 18th. I think that Suffolk County, we declared a state of emergency. Suffolk County also declared a state of emergency. Suffolk County is currently working to coordinate a federal state of emergency. New York, I think they got New York State. I think New York State granted it, and now they're trying to get it federal. So, based on how that all stacks up, we are eligible for some repair reimbursements. However, the repair reimbursements are I was told that it's going to be 30 to 80% reimbursement. We have to lay out the money first and then submit and see what we get. So they're not giving us a check to go spend it. So we still have to be mindful because it's coming out of our budget and we don't know what portion we're getting. So the major storm damage, the immediate issues, and thank you for everybody because I wasn't here and you guys all went and took the pictures and gathered the information so that we could submit it. We had the boat ramp that got undermined. We had significant damage on Van Brunt Manor Road, the shoulder. There's 2 feet of damage there. Miscellaneous road erosion all over Washington, Birchwood, Adams. There's also on Adams drain damage. One of the drains got, I don't know, it got really messed up and it's compromised. And then we also have the beaches, which Walnut got the brunt of it. DEC, I spoke to the DEC in the immediate things, and California got some damage too, but not as bad as Walnut. We really lost a lot. So I spoke to the DEC about what we could do. I sent them the photos. They agreed that, hi Joe, they agreed that it looks like we got to bring some sand in. We got to bring some, I forget what it's called, those corn, they got a name, the what are those things called?
Hay bales?
No, not hay bales. They're like
Tubes?
permanent. Yeah, they're like
No, the
tubes.
Yeah. Geotubes?
No, the ones that they put down. They're
Put them where?
to revegetate.
Oh.
They're like natural. They disappear. You put them down to prevent further erosion. Then you plant
something mats.
Yeah. So they said that. They said planting and sand. So I walked the property with Rich Parrish, Mike Chiaffi. We kind of came up with, we all kind of agreed what we need to do down at Walnut. There's not a lot to do with California besides the boat ramp, but what we're going to do, and the next step is to submit a plan to the DEC. They will expedite it, is what they said. But again, we have to have numbers and we have to be able to pay for it. So that's the next step, and I'm going to be working on all of that. In addition, because of Van Brunt, the issue with the Van Brunt shoulder, where the road is, to be clear, the road is all ours with an exception of the sliver up to Wells. So the concept that it was split down the middle, that was incorrect. Yeah. But we met with one of the guys from the highway department and the councilman Cornwright yesterday. Joe and I met with them, and they are going to be, and they're going to be giving us a price. I have a repair price, which we can go with, just to approve it, and then obviously if Brookhaven comes in lower, we'll wait and hear what they say and see what they say. But the interesting news is Brookhaven is paving Shore Road, from Seaport Deli all the way to where it becomes Poquat property.
Yeah.
Which is great, because
Yeah,
that really
it's
needs to
needed,
be
yeah.
done. So they offered, and Joe and I agreed with everyone else's approval that we could do an IMA with Brookhaven and give them some roads in Poquat while they're doing this massive paving project. It's going to be our best opportunity to get the lowest price on at least materials through Brookhaven. So that's going to be on our resolutions to do. It doesn't cost us anything to do an IMA, but it gives us the opportunity to get bids. And I've already given them some roads to bid on, and so we'll see what happens next with that. The immediate repairs, which are the boat ramp repairs, about 3,500. The Van Brunt Manor shoulders, 4,000. The road erosion minor repairs, 2,500, and drain damage at Adams is another 2,500. So those we can approve tonight because they are an emergency, and I actually did get other quotes for it that were 4 times this, so I feel really comfortable about these numbers, and then we can just wait and see what Brookhaven gives us, if it's any better, which I don't know if it will be. Okay, and that's it. So I'll keep everybody posted as I get more information on state and federal. We submitted all of our damages. They already came through the village and assessed everything, and now I have to communicate with them next week and get the DEC portion started for Walnut. And if you see anything while you're walking around and you think it's storm related, let me know, because I can add to the list. It's open for me to add to. They just needed a base to get started with the state and the federal. Okay.
Could I interrupt a second? I'm sure I'm behind the curve on this with you guys, but was there anything available through our insurance?
No, I don't think so. And if it's available through our insurance, the roads aren't. I think you looked into it. They're not. It's not. We looked into that, Ron. It's not available, and anything that would be available would we wouldn't be able to get the state aid. But it's all repairs that are not covered. Yeah, we already looked into it.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, feel free to interrupt. Um, uh, Next, so deputy clerk position. So now, do I have to read the letter of resignation to the board? Okay, so you all saw the letter of resignation. Tim Bear resigned as deputy clerk in August 13th. Jess and Cindy have sorted it for now, where Cindy will be coming back as deputy clerk. And we always had 2 people. We had 3. So I'm proposing that we bring Cindy back as deputy clerk. She's got the knowledge and the experience. She will continue to do the building meetings. They will split the rest of the tasks, but I'm going to bring Cindy. I would like to bring Cindy back up to $25 an hour because she's taking on a significant. She took a huge pay cut coming down from clerk and going into building, and now I'd like to bring her to something more moderate, like $25 an hour. So that's also on the resolutions, unless anybody has any other feelings. We'll be totally covered with our budget because we were always budgeting for 3 people and now it's only 2. So I think that if they can make it work and it's just 2 people managing it, so far it's been pretty good. Yeah, okay. Okay, parking permit summons terms. I emailed everybody about this, talking about changing the terms to, it was 6 months, right?
Yes, originally. Yeah.
And it was running from June through May. That is causing issues here, only because that is the busiest time, because we're getting boat permits, and always every year we're preparing for an election. It's tax season. So I'd like to make it from January to January. And that's how that's how all the beaches, everything else runs. It's January to January, and if you don't get your permit until April because you're not going to the beach or you're not using it, that's fine. But you pay from January to January, and we'll push a campaign to push it forward and let people know and encourage them to come in and start getting it. Even if we get half, it'll be 50% less of a burden at the time. So the only question is, do we feel comfortable with 60 days as far as the terms instead of 6 months? It was 6 months, right?
Yeah.
Six.
So this is the term of the permit that you get?
No, you get a 1-year permit, but if you're expired,
Okay.
if you're expired, if your expiration is 6 months, if you're out 6 months, you get a pass. Versus, I'm trying to motivate people to get their parking permits, right?
So, can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
Sure. Because being the one that prosecutes this, so that you basically, I thought what we're going to do is if you're expired, then for two months, for a 2-month expiration period, you get 1 warning,
Mm-hmm.
and then after the 2 months, then you just, if you on your second ticket, you don't get a warning.
You just get
You
the
just
ticket.
within the 2 months, and then after the 2 months, you just get a ticket. You don't get a warning.
That's fine. I think
Yeah,
that's
I
good.
think I thought you. I'm sorry, I was trying to follow you, but I got confused.
Well, I'm
sorry.
talking
sure
in
you-
circles.
I'm sure you said it correctly.
No, I'm sure I didn't, but it's okay.
So I think 60 days is
Yeah,
much better.
I mean,
I think it's enough time without being.
you get a violation and you're
Right,
2
you
months
still have-
out and you
yeah.
go to Village Hall and or go online and do it. I think 6 months is like, right.
Like the whole year. And
Right.
And then, like you said, if we're pushing something out there to make sure that people are informed of this, then there should be really no excuse.
Right.
What is the, do you know what it generates? Like how much money it generates for the parking tickets? I mean, the stickers?
Very little.
Maybe, on a good year, we sell 300.
So $1,500.
It's not a question of what it generates. It's a question of making sure that giving code enforcement the opportunity to know who's there, and it's
Yeah.
more of an enforcement thing than a money maker.
The reason I was asking is because I'm just trying to foresee complaints that people who have, they paid for a permit for a year and now halfway through the year, they're having to get a new permit. So is there any way we offset that cost for the first time through as we're adjusting the schedule, or just go for it?
No, we just do it effective January because the thing is, nobody comes in until, very few people come in until the spring anyway.
Yeah.
So if we can get them to come in a couple of months early, it's unlikely that people are going to be banging the door down on January 1st to get their parking tickets. So a lot of parking stickers, a lot of people are going to come in the spring. What we're hoping to do is motivate them not to come in May, but maybe to come in March.
Yeah.
So they're really only losing a couple of months, and it's administratively, I think we should
Much
just.
easier. Yeah, I agree with all the other points.
Yeah. So, all right. So that we have to put that into our law,
Yeah.
and we'll do a public hearing, and we'll do that for next month.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know, I don't know if I want to quantify it, but a lot of, I don't want to say most of the people, but a lot of the people that get tickets are residents that just didn't bother to get, like their relative came in from Ohio, so they drove there from the beach
Right.
instead, and
They didn't bother to get a pass
just
or
got a new
anything
car.
else.
Got a new car 3 months ago. I didn't have time to get the permit for you.
Right.
So,
All right.
but
Okay.
we don't know. That's the thing.
We don't know, and I think it's really just to alleviate the bottleneck in administration, and it's only $5. I mean, if it was
I know.
40, if
Yeah.
it was but it's $5. I think people aren't even they'd rather just get it done,
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I ask you one? I'm sorry.
Yes.
What are the how do you get a parking permit? What are the options?
You
Can I
come
have a
in,
bottle
fill
of
it
water?
out in Village Hall, or we have online.
Oh, we haven't on, because I was gonna say that a lot of people said they weren't here.
Smart.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
You know, it's
Now
funny.
online.
Like Brookhaven does it now all digital with your driver's license, and they don't give you anything. But I don't know when it expires.
I'm okay, it's terrible.
I don't know when it, like, I got it
License plate or something.
through my license plate, but I don't know, and it's good for 2 years from when you do it. But if they don't give you a sticker and there's no thing on it, I don't know when it expires. I'm like, is mine expired? Is it good? And I don't know if there's a way to even check it.
You can on their website, because I just have to redo mine,
And it shows you when
Yeah, it
you're
shows you.
expiring?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, that's,
or what your date of your last purchase was. And
okay, well, that's a little too modern for us. We're gonna stick to,
Our stickers
we're gonna stick to the sticker.
are the stickers.
Okay,
until next budget meeting, Frank rolls in with a new update for technology.
yeah. Fire marshal IMA, I sent everybody that. Did everyone have time to look at it? It's basically per necessity.
Mhm.
And this follows, this is what, I mean, I spoke to them. I also spoke to the mayor of Oldfield. This is exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's basically, if we need them, we're set for it. So I don't see a downside.
I mean, we have to do it, right? One way or another.
I mean, I think we're a small village, and to try to, I mean, we could try to find somebody in the village, but I think it just causes complications. This is pretty
Yeah.
easy, and it's what Oldfield's doing. Hello, dear.
Little-
It's what Oldfield's doing. So I'm okay with it if everyone else is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, Darlene, we're up to the what?
I don't think we have, right now, we don't have a choice to.
No, they. Go
They
ahead.
said they were gonna do it for free, but then they just never got back to us after the initial conversation.
Yeah, but I mean, it's if we need it. We're not. It's not like we have to give them a stipend every month, and it's going to affect us. So you know. Okay. Okay. Deputy building inspector position. So Tony Bertolotti, our deputy building inspector, has also resigned. And Keith. What? And Keith Kellner, who is the building inspector where? He's in another village, right? Full
Yes,
time?
you don't know the rules.
Okay. He is going to take over. I'm proposing that we do, I mean, just to get him used to up to speed and everything, I think we should appoint him for a period of 3 months just to see how it goes. His rates are, he gave us, his rates are slightly different than Tony's. In some areas we're ahead, in some areas we're behind.
Okay.
So Tony was $250 every time he did anything.
Okay.
So Keith's rates are going to be $250. The review of the first set of plans, which is the biggest, the most time consuming, and the first inspection, he's doing them combined. So instead of 250, it's for 1,000 square feet, it's 250.
Mhm.
For from up to 1,000 square feet. He's broken it up because the plans take longer to review depending on the size and the complexity. So up to 2,000 square feet, it then becomes 350. 4,500 square feet, 450, and 4,500 or greater, anywhere between 550, 600. He wants some flexibility depending on the complexity of the plans. And each one of these includes the first inspection. Subsequent inspections are going to be $250 per inspection, which goes back to Tony's, the original rate. And then with related meetings, they don't come in too often besides to get paperwork, but every once in a while we will have a building meeting. They will have to meet with Cindy or Jess or me or Joe, and he's including that into this whole rate. So
Can I ask a couple questions?
Yeah.
So, one, are these standard rates? Like, did we get rates from anybody else? And second is, how often do we use him? Because we only use him when there's a conflict with Mike, right?
Or Mike's not here, or for whatever, yeah, we usually will only
He's
use
just like
him
a
if there's a
backup.
conflict with Mike. He's like a backup, but every once in a while, things get backlogged. There might be 4 new sets of plans, so we might use him for something like that. It's not always,
Do we always have to use him if Mike's the builder?
yes, Mike has to recuse himself, and we have to use him or another inspector, but it's good to have a deputy on staff who knows our protocols. The rates are, these were the rates that we had prior. I made a few phone calls. Nobody else responded with anything, and anything else would be a larger engineering firm. So I actually think these are pretty reasonable.
How do they, I don't have the sheet in front of me, but does it affect our pricing at all for our permit fees?
So one of the talents of Mr. Kilmer is that he's a really good plan reviewer,
Mm-hmm.
like really good. He's very familiar with the uniform code
Mm-hmm.
and very good at reviewing plans. I did get prices from another person who is a plan reviewer, an excellent plan reviewer. That person is $200 an hour, and they said on a single family house it would be about we could expect about at least $1,000 for a single family house. But the difference is that person, while he's a really good plan reviewer, cannot sign as a building inspector. Mr. Kellner has all the certifications, and he's current as far as signing. He can sign something as a deputy, whatever you call building inspector.
They get that much? My husband needs to stop working for this village and go work for another one. That's pretty good. All right, so I think for 3 months, I think we should just, unless there's somebody, give it a try, see how it goes.
And we need somebody.
We need somebody.
Yeah.
So, all right.
No contract or anything.
Huh?
We just do it from.
No,
Yeah,
3
yeah,
months.
yeah.
We're gonna hire him as an outside vendor.
Yeah, 1099.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to be 3 months. I mean, you could do a job and you don't.
No, but I'm just saying, the appointment, I didn't know if there was usually we do appointments every year for a term of a year, but since we're doing it now mid-year, I figured we would just do it for 3 months, and then I could do another resolution to do it for the rest of the year, and then we'll follow suit.
I think it's a good idea.
All right, SCOVA training. We all have to do SCOVA training. We're all supposed to do some level of training, all village officials. The big hootenanny this year will be October 9th in Riverhead. We have enough people interested that, we have some people who have requested if there's going to be transportation. We used to do it in the past. Then COVID, people started to fall off.
Is there a Zoom option?
No.
Is that the only one?
No, there's other options.
There's other training, but this is like, you get it all done in one evening.
If you want to request that, you could be, you could, not for this one, but if you want to, like put in the suggestion box or email.
For Zoom?
Yeah, just, still pay, but just not, because they basically want people to.
They want people to
to
attend.
pay and attend and pay.
That's a good idea. I'll throw it out there.
See what they say.
For Jeremy one. Okay, so anyway, if you're interested, we need to know relatively quickly. I don't know how many, do we have a full bus yet?
That many?
Yeah, 2 spots.
Wow.
Yeah. So we've got two quotes for transportation. North Country came in at $878, and Salmon Limo came in for $580, not including a tip.
Like a small little bus. Like a Sprinter type of thing.
Yeah, it's not a Greyhound.
It's not a, no, I'm
It's not
thinking it's a.
you think it's a
school bus.
Hampton
I'm thinking
Jitney?
like
No,
that. That's why I was like, wow, I'm thinking of a school bus.
Anyway, so
Even
we
little
just
bus,
have to.
maybe a little-
For now, I want to know how everybody feels about providing transportation, because we can also deny it and tell people to drive themselves.
How much is
or-
a course?
Huh?
How much is a course?
The course
$75.
per
We pay for
person.
everybody.
The village pays for it, but for 580 and people are requesting, and I think we've got a lot of volunteers who don't get a salary and they're asking for a ride. This board hasn't asked, but we have other board members who are asking for a ride. I personally think we could
Facilitate.
splurge a little bit and
Yeah, I agree.
give people some transportation back and forth. Okay. All right, so should we go with salmon limo for 580? What are you laughing?
Sounds like something an otter would request.
Yeah, it does sound like something an otter would request.
Yeah.
So, the otter wants to know if we could have salmon limo.
I would sign off on it.
All right, well,
Yeah.
all right.
It's good with me.
Okay, so now we have, planning board requests. We have 2 planning board requests. One was, yes, the scope of authority. The second,
The other one's to retain counsel, right?
one is to retain, okay, so let's go through the scope of authority first. I'm gonna read it out loud. The planning board scope of authority is limited to review and approval of dock permits, review and approval of subdivisions, and the maintenance of the master plan. That's New York State's definition, correct? With those 3, okay. In addition, the Poquat Planning Board requests, I'm paraphrasing, but the planning board requests that the Board of Trustees include the following items as part of the planning board's scope of authority. 1, review and approval of site plans where the plans require significant, as per the Board of Trustees, regrading and clearing. 2, review and approval of site plans that abuts village land, including developed land, i.e. parks, and undeveloped land, i.e. bluffs. Review of special use permits, review and approval of site plans where plots of land are combined.
So
So,
there's authority now of these, right?
well, the building department, for the most part, I'm just gonna say that within the village, there's been development. There are situations where people are looking and saying, maybe we should consider X, Y, and Z. We had the rainfall. We had 2 properties that dropped a lot of debris and storm runoff into the roads. There is an ongoing transition of construction that's happening. We've had other areas over the last year that have had stormwater. We have a lot more rain. People are saying this person's rain is getting into my yard, etc. So I don't think having more review is a bad thing. I personally don't think having more review. I feel that this request, to some degree, lacks detail, because a lot of what they're asking, with my limited knowledge, is ZBA zoning is covered by zoning board. Some of it, I don't know. What is a special use permit specifically? Because I don't even know what that
It's
is.
something that, it's something that's not a permitted use in your zoning code, but, under certain conditions, you might allow it. So you say that you could have it with a special permit. So like an office, a home office could be available. I know this is, I'm
Right.
just throwing this out as an
Yeah.
example. I know we already have something, but like a home office could be with a special use.
Okay.
As an example. And then the reason for that is because if you apply for it, you can give criteria like where the parking is going to be, how close to the neighbor, things like that.
Okay.
So that's a special permit.
So anything that's outside, so if somebody comes in and they have an anomaly thing that they want to put on their property and it doesn't fall into any of the other categories, it becomes a special use permit?
Well, if you allow it, it doesn't, not automatically, only if you say that in your code.
Does our code say that we allow people to make applications for special use
No.
permits? So
So that would be a change in the code.
So we would have to add a special use permit and then give someone authority to review that and make those determinations. Currently, we don't have any special use permits.
Not that I know of, I don't think so.
Okay. Have we ever had any applications for special use permits? I mean, I'd nix that one. Me personally, unless, is there a reason? I mean, you know, you meet with the planning board. Do you know why they're asking for the special use? Like what what motivated the request?
I'm just laughing because they discussed it when I wasn't at the meeting, and then I came back into the meeting and they said it's a good thing that I wasn't there. So,
Okay.
I didn't know.
All right.
I don't know whether that.
All right, so I think that one I need to. I mean, we don't need to know what it is, but before we go through the work of redefining our code for something that no one's ever applied for.
They wrote this?
Yes.
So normally, it's almost always for commercial uses, you know.
Right.
Governmental and commercial uses are,
We don't allow them.
yeah, so I don't think it's really applicable here, especially. Yeah.
Somebody to do a church in the village? Like if somebody wanted to erect a church?
Or use a home as a church. Yeah. I don't even want to say that out loud. Yeah.
What happens if you wanted to use a home as like a general store?
Wouldn't be allowed.
So if church falls into a different category because it's a house of worship.
You're not supposed to, yeah, there's a federal law called, the acronym is RLUIPA, and basically you're not supposed to use zoning to regulate churches.
So what about 7-Eleven?
7-Eleven's a
Not
commercial.
Commercial.
You
That
could
would
have
fall
a
under
7-Eleven.
commercial.
You could put a church in a 7-Eleven based on this law.
Well, the 7-Eleven is a church, sure.
Well, I don't think you could do one. I think you could do the other based on this law.
You couldn't have a commercial use in the village.
So realistically, I mean, it's a question of is that the only place where special use is a house of worship? Because we can't have stores, we can't have commercial use. What else? I mean, I think I don't know what else. I don't know enough about this, so I think we need to. I'm going to look
Can we
into.
actually have a conversation with them, with what they're thinking?
We could.
Because they're asking, they want more control over reviewing plans of some sort, right?
Mm-hmm. This is our just to be. Yeah, go ahead.
I looked at this and personally, I know it's semantics, but I have issues with the review and approval because there's no guidelines based on what they're approving. And for them to then ask for approval of a permit without any detailed guidelines as to what and why they're approving something, I think it's too open-ended here. And I would prefer to fine-tune it. And then to your point, you know, we've been kind of waiting for something for almost a year. And I think I would personally like to do a little bit of homework and see what other villages do. And I think then give back to them what we would like responsibilities for them to have.
I'm in agreement. I don't know. I mean, I'm particularly interested in site plans where plots of land are combined. I mean, because I understand how they review and approve subdivisions.
Who does that now? Because
The planning board.
people do.
Nobody.
No,
the
there's
people that have
subdivisions.
bought 2
No,
plots
for
of
the-
land
for the-
combined
But
them.
there is no one's right now. There is no review. We don't have any.
Because we don't have any regulation within our code against, right? So we would have to then, correct me if I'm wrong, but we would have to change our code to prohibit combination of land to have them review and approve something, right?
Yes. Well, not prohibited, but just say that you need planning board.
We need a planning, but we'd have to change our code to require planning board approval
Well, right
to
now,
combine land.
what's the parameters now?
None. Right?
You could just
You
combine
could,
land.
yeah, the only thing is that, there'd be a little bit of a wrinkle because we have single family zoning and you're only allowed to have one dwelling unit on the property. So if you merge a property that has two houses on it, and there are people that have said that in the village, then you are creating a two-family property, a property with two dwelling units.
But you say you only have one dwelling on it.
No, because I could buy, I have my house and I could buy the house next door.
Knock them both down.
I'm not planning on knocking them both down. I'm going to keep them because I'm buying the house next door. It's going to all be my property, but I'm going to have my son live there. But I'm going to own him. I'm going to own both of them. I'm going to combine them. They're going to be one plot. They're going to be one tax parcel. But I'm going to have two dwellings. When he's saying you can't have that, right?
Yeah, it would create a problem. You'd right away be.
I don't know why I would do that, but this is. I mean, I don't know. I'm also not building a.
I'm thinking the person that wants to knock both houses down and build, they're gonna build one house, or buy 3 plots and build.
No, but there's people in the village that have said that they want to do this, and they don't want to knock that. That's what the mayor said. They don't want to knock the houses down. They want to have a property with 2 dwelling units on it.
But so I think the thing that also is that I understand what you're saying. We don't have any regulations against it. So you could buy 6 pieces of property right now, right? All next to each other. And
Combine
you
them.
could combine them. But I think the issue is that to me that's already under their scope of what they do because that falls under the village plan, right?
Well,
The master
well,
plan,
this
like
is-
deciding,
this is- I
like
mean-
regulating and deciding zoning issues, doesn't that already fall under the master plan?
no, the master plan, to my understanding, is what the future vision of where Poquat's going, right? To some degree,
That's what it is.
it's here's where we are now, and do we want to allow houses of worship? Like, I think, isn't that how it works? You do a
Both.
survey and you
Or
find, you gauge
That's
docs,
like
you gauge resident sentiment, and then you build a plan and you look at, there's a lot of people in Poquat that don't like commercial development, right? So this is also becomes like a legal thing that you can't really just stop somebody from purchasing property. But I'm just saying, somebody could say, I love Belgian block and I want Belgian block throughout the village. And we don't have that now, but somebody votes for it. And then we make that into like a plan for the future that we're going to change all the lighting and Belgian block and make that the standard. Isn't that what how the master plan works?
But wouldn't this also fall into that? Because if you have concerns about the joining of property in the future and how it affects the overall future dynamic of the village, wouldn't that then fall under the master plan as well? Because if your concern is that all of the houses, in a section where we have smaller plot lines are just going to be wiped out and combined into one massive plot, but wouldn't that be their responsibility to then address that under the future direction of the village? Under the master plan as it is?
Yes, but I also think that if you look at all of these items, most of these items, some of these items, I think are redundant to the zoning board. Some of these items are new items that would require code, correct, to make them feasible. And then some of them are they're gonna, I mean, we can't have the building department. I mean, we can. The review part, I think, to have people looking at it and commenting, I mean, that we did do that in the
But
past.
they could approve it, but then it has to be approved by somebody else. Like, there might have to be multiple levels of improvement. My question is, this would affect if you bought a house in Poquat that already has 2 dwellings on it, rip both those dwellings down, and now want to put up you want to put up 2 new dwellings on it instead of 1.
No,
Yeah, I
because,
don't think you could do that. You could have to go to one.
well,
Yeah, that's my question. I think that's more, I don't understand
Even
why
without
people would buy separate parcels, not rip all the houses down, but want to combine them. What benefit?
there might be an inheritance benefit, a tax benefit. There might, right? I mean, there's
Yes,
people.
One village did this no merger provision years ago. And the reason why, they had it drafted and they enacted, the reason why is because they had a lot of houses in the village most of the houses in the village, a lot of the houses in the village were like 800 square foot houses that had been built in the 1800s. It was a whaling town, basically. There were captain's houses and things like that. But they didn't, and people were buying 2 of them, were buying the one next door, knocking them both down and building a McMansion. 7,500 square foot house, and a lot of them were going to Airbnb. So it really changed the nature of the village, and we didn't want that to happen. We want a smaller house.
But if we're gonna entertain that scope of, then to Jeremy's point, if we're gonna entertain that scope of like, we don't want this village to have this, that's more of a master plan thing than a planning board arbitrarily dictating, right? I mean, this
Yeah,
is,
that's different.
it is different because I can't, and truthfully, I mean, and this is all due respect to the planning board, but the planning board, I mean, review and approve of site plans where required significant regrading and clearing. So they're going to review it, but the planning board changes, right? Right now, I think that there's one person on the planning board who has an engineering knowledge.
There's no,
So I think, I mean,
but
honestly,
I don't think it should rest 100% with the building department either, because the building department
I
is very small, and you know, maybe that shouldn't happen either. Is do they want to have some say in it?
I-
'Cause right now, the building department is really making all those decisions.
I think that having, but the building department is making the decisions based on the New York State Code, right? The ZBA has a checklist of what defines the decisions that they can make. Am I correct?
Well, not,
No, they just
not
have
really,
those
because the kinds of
questions.
things we're talking about are not regulated by state code. So changes in the grade, major changes, or even minor changes are not regulated by state code, and also clearing. So what I had suggested was that changes in the grade of like more than 5%, or maybe clearing of more than changing clearing more than 10% or something of the property should take a pass through the planning board. The problem with the building department, it's not a problem with the building department, it's a problem with what they're given to do, is that, they get plans for a house, but then it doesn't show on the plan that there's gonna be like,
Right, we've had
300
that.
truckloads of dirt removed here and put over there, and all this other stuff. And they're not equipped for that because they're all experts in buildings and not in engineering, which is what those kinds of things.
So I think, I mean, this is,
I would like to talk to them.
I think we should review this, do a little homework, and see what what other villages do with their planning department. I'm not opposed, like, I'm not
Opposed to it either. I'm just
necessarily
trying to
opposed
figure
to
out what
any of
they're-
this, but I think if we're gonna do it, we need to have, it needs to be, because it's gonna affect, at some point, if we're doing this, it's gonna affect our code, right?
Yeah, so I think that the goal is thoughtful review of the impacts on the character of the village and the neighbors, and also stormwater, bringing.
Yeah, I mean, I think-
Thoughtful review of that, not to turn the planning board into like a torture chamber.
No,
where,
but, so,
where we can
so,
hold things up for 2 years.
so on the other side of approval, there's denial, right? So thoughtful, careful review, I'm all for it. But having the ability to review and approve plans that I'm not qualified to review and approve, I'm not sure I'm
I
not.
agree with Jeremy, they're basing it off the master plan. The question becomes, should they have that, and then it goes next to the building department to now review, like, maybe there's more than one step of somebody doing that.
No,
Because now you
well,
have the people with the master plan, and then you have the people with the engineering.
so
The
up
engineering part's the important.
yes, so up until 2017, because this was something that came up and circled back, and I did some research. Up until 2017, we used to, when a permit came in, any nature of a permit came in, it went to legal, building, code, it went, and planning. It went to everybody. But there was a certain amount of, I guess, a lot, because if now somebody wants to redo their bathroom,
How that affects
right, like, and now everybody's got to have this time to look at it. So at some point or another, it got dropped off. And it was never a policy. It was never a code. It's not in our minutes. at some point or another, it got dropped off, and planning didn't see it anymore. So if they're asking to see it again, fine, but I think it got dropped off. I don't know why. I wasn't even on the board at the time. But if we're going to bring something like that back for thoughtful review, I'm totally for it. I just think we need to have a little bit more of a, maybe we could have Chris come in. Can we do that? I think that might be the best thing, to have Chris come in and explain it, and we come up with something. Yeah, examples, and have him come in and talk to us about it so that we have a better understanding, because I can't just approve something based on them approving, because I don't like the other side of it. Approve or deny.
Because there's nothing, but there's a point, there's nothing in here, there's no guidelines that they're basing review of approval off of.
And are they basing
Well,
their,
that's what I said before, the 5%, just come up with some kind of standards. So then-
so is that what they're looking for, that they would get a checklist similar to the ZBA?
I guess, but my comment is that you're supposed to make work for them, they're not supposed to make work for you, so I would just send it back and say, whatever, it sounds great, or it's possible, and just
Why don't we look at it a little bit ourselves, and then come up with, have another discussion here, and then once we kind of narrow it down, see what other, I want to see what other villages are doing,
Yeah.
right?
And if we
And-
if we revise, if we put something together, then maybe we can have, then I think maybe that's a time to
Have Chris
get
come
Chris
in,
involved
yeah.
and say, look, this is what we're thinking. If that's okay with you, agree. This is what we're thinking. Do you have any, do you have any suggestions, changes? But
And
I
see if we
think
line
we need
up.
to set the guidelines for what
Yeah.
what they're going to be doing and what they're going to be reviewing, and stipulations
Okay.
and standards that's going to be approved.
I said one of the things that, I'm sorry, the board that even helped out a lot is the ZBA, because the ZBA gets a lot of, there's a couple types of applications that they get that really they should be hesitant about. People like to talking about it's okay to have your garage on the street, in some cases in the street. I mean, like, I don't know that that's a really great, they don't have a choice to some extent, because when they get a garage near the street application, they just approved 3 other ones, where there's 4 others on the street. That just using that as an example.
So you're saying that maybe the planning board can also assist the ZBA?
No, the trustees, coming up like it.
I don't want to look at garages.
But here's my thing, and I'm not disagreeing with you. We have no, information on it. Like, we don't know anything, I don't know anything about any garages going up to the community. Like, ZBA does, whether they don't report back to us, like, they have no reporting back to us.
Maybe they should. I mean, we made
Yeah.
the commissioners report back to us.
I agree with you, I think there's a lot of things that go on.
So that we
I
would-
think that
so that we would
less
know.
than some of the people that sit on the planning board, the building.
Right, and then
Yeah,
we
and-
would have a better idea. And, I mean, because the reality is, the residents don't, when they have an issue and they don't like something that's going on, X, Y, Z, they really don't go to the members of the planning board of the ZBA. They come to us. And then we might not even have the answers, or it might be in planning or ZBA. And, like, you're right, we're not all, it's everyone's kind of operating in their own things, and we're not kind of collaborating as boards. Are we allowed to collaborate as boards? So maybe that's,
One thing is, with the ZBA in particular, would you want to see putting their agenda online with links to the applications? Like, we get the applications in PDF, and you could very easily have their agenda with a link embedded in, so it's, whatever.
so that residents who are interested in what's going on with a variance or something else, they can go. Yeah, that's a great idea. All right, so, I mean, do we want to, like, do we want to tackle this as a group? Do we want to team it? How do we want to do this? Because I do want to research this a little bit more.
And I'll take a couple of villages. I've done a little bit into this when we were doing some of the review on the trees and stuff. So I've been in touch with a few different.
Do you want to contact them and just kind of get an idea of what they do, and then we can throw it around and and I don't know.
But then we'll, like,
Yeah, I think we should discuss it, see what they do, have another discussion, and then narrow it down to what we feel is comfortable assigning, and then see how it works with the code, and then have Chris come in and we can all bat it around. Does that seem reasonable? Yeah, okay. So
Can you also bring the building department into that conversation?
yeah, I think that would be, I think we would have to
Because,
we would have to bring the building department and code enforcement? Or no? Yeah? It'll go, oh boy, that's a part.
I would bring the landscapers.
All right.
Take
You don't wanna bring the landscapers, stop it. All right, so let's move on from that one. So that one, Jeremy, you're gonna do some initial, and then if you find that you want to tag team some of it, I'll help you with it. All right. You know what, why don't you make some phone calls, see what's what, and then maybe you divvy it out.
Yeah, if it looks like it's gonna expand into like some significant, research and data collection,
All right.
then
I would, I would pick some village names and just search their names in E-code, so like, Oakwood E-code, Oakwood E-code 360, so pick a village and then look online
And see what they're
because
doing.
it could be
Well,
close.
honestly, I did do that. I did do that because of all the stormwater issues. I did look for like erosion control, and there is certain things that we have to implement into the building department just based on the way things are changing. And I looked at Smithtown, I looked at Huntington, and they like that's also a good thing to do. But sometimes like you got, but like you got a place like Huntington, they have a whole engineering department. Like they split it up. We have to find like kind of like villages, because if we start looking at, well, we can't.
Yeah, I mean, I've spoken to Belterra and I've spoken to Oldfield and got just how their departments run,
Okay.
and they're
The old field in
yeah.
I mean, I'm not opposed to any of it. I just think like I don't want to answer it now. I think we need to do some more homework. All right. Next option. What are we up to?
Approval of the
Okay, approval of legal representation. So
it's a two-part.
the planning board has asked for.
They also they're looking to get approval to retain representation for review.
Yeah, read it.
Review.
What? Just read it. Stop it. She's got the official word.
It just says the village of Hilltop Planning Board for the applicant is not demonstrated with hearing rights. The planning board would like to hire a legal firm as approved by the board of trustees to solve the question of the hearing rights of the
But the applicant is paying for it.
You're refused.
The last part is
So this is one thing.
the last part is conditional on the applicant agreeing to reimburse the cost.
They will. Okay.
Conditional, that's the resolution.
Yes. Okay. So the applicant doesn't know about this, but we're going to approve it preemptively.
Or the representative.
Okay. So we're approving the expense, and the applicant is being told they have to pay it.
We're approving everything conditional on the applicant agreeing to reimburse the cost.
So if the applicant says no, then we're not moving forward.
Right. We're just approving the amount.
Just proving that if they agree,
Okay.
we will.
Okay. So I'm okay with that. Yeah. I mean, if they need to do this to move forward with their application. Truthfully, it would also be good if to have a definition for this on, I mean, I know we have one, but I did some research into the riparian littoral. It's all over the map a little bit. I mean, so I think that would be good. All right, next. Local law revisions to chapter 120, property maintenance. Did you get?
Yeah, I emailed a revision to 120. You should check if this will come back to
Well, it's good. Too late. Nice to get to
All the board
Yeah,
members.
Yeah,
I think that's-
commissioners, if not all, open it to board members, but just like, I mean, I don't know.
We'll just jam everybody in the bus then.
I know a lot of people
Yeah,
like
yeah, I mean,
but
but yeah, like not
I understand.
you know what I mean? Like,
Sometimes not face to face.
yeah.
I think that would be nice.
Or
Yeah, I
like
think
a
that would be
little-
nice.
Like a little meet and greet type of thing. Board
I
members.
think it only, I think it would only help everybody to get, you know, like if you're in the same room and you kind of get an idea for one another.
Yeah.
You know, I think that would help, I think.
Especially if we're gonna encourage more overlap in working with the different departments.
We could definitely talk about
Yeah, that to me seems a little scary, because that seems like we're all having bagels and coffee, and then it starts. How do we negotiate that with all those people? What do you guys think? We're never gonna leave. We gotta bring sleep. We gotta bring sleeping bags for that event.
I don't think it's gonna last very long.
Did you send it to me?
Yes, and I will probably, when I see Jessica, I think I'm sending, she comes up.
I got it, but I can just read it, so she can print it. But I can.
So
Okay, so the backstory to this is we define boats, and we have received complaints. You know, we discussed property maintenance for the property maintenance for the boats,
Right.
and were very specific, and I believe that all of us were thinking in terms of boats, like real boats on trailers or boats in general. We have received complaints about paddle boards and kayaks, and if you look at the boat law, if you don't take your if you get home from the beach and you drop your kayak on your driveway, which is the summer community, and you don't store it as blah 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 blah, you're actually breaking the law. You're not really, because I don't think that's how we intended it. I know I didn't intend to police people putting their kayak in their driveway during the summer months in a boat community. My vision was always, how are we storing trailered boats off season? But
There's a person that complains because somebody is dropping their kayak in their front yard and they stay there for 4 months and don't move. But that's, you know, in any month, whether it's summer, winter, you're using it, that's one thing, but you're just being stored in the front yard. That's why.
I don't know, but my vote is not to. I don't want to start nitpicking kayaks and paddle boards. I drive through this village and I don't see an overabundance of unstored. Right. So I don't know. I don't know the nuances of what it is, but I know that the complainers are looking at boat law and saying, well, this is what you said with boats. And I think unless we as a board want to start restricting kayaks and paddle boards,
What about jet
etc.
skis?
Jet skis are different. Jet skis, well, that's, I think I mean, this is up to
So,
one boat.
Ingrid, I thought you did want to, I said up to 3 kayaks, so I thought you meant we're doing. We could just take that out.
I think I was, my idea of boat maintenance, we were talking, the way that this whole thing started was that people were storing them over the winter time improperly, with horrible coverings, and it was unattractive, possibly dangerous, and we wanted to address it. I'm a boater. I'm a beach person. It's summertime. If your kayak is, I mean, I don't want it in the street. I don't want you to like throw it in the middle of your yard and just, but I'm not seeing that happening. I think, I don't care. Your jet ski should fall under with a boat because it has a trailer. It's the same thing. But I don't know. Maybe I'm a slob. I have my paddle board's probably on the side of my house right now, so I'm biased on this one. I don't want to get that picky. in
What are
authority.
they asking us to do? To sign the
They're not
contract?
asking us for anything. They want us to enforce the law, and somebody's got their boat, I mean, we didn't put timing on this. Did we say winter in the law? Right. So we did a blanket for storage. So either we have to change the law and say, this applies only to winter, or we have to adjust it so that we further define watercraft, so that I don't want people fighting. Oh, that guy's got his kayak. He left his kayak there for half an hour or
No,
3
no,
days,
but You don't want someone to put their kayak in their front lawn from November 1st to May 1st and have 3 kayaks on their front lawn. That's just the whole point of the property maintenance law, is that is an eyesore and for everybody, and particularly the people that live around it. So I don't want my neighbor to have his jet ski in his front lawn for the entire winter, because it says it can't.
But do you care if he has his jet ski in his front lawn for the entire summer?
I don't think so, because I would assume he's using it. But if you're not using it, then I don't know, but maybe it's that. But I agree with you, it's a beach community, and you want people to use beachy things.
Right. I see. I don't.
But
I'm fine with like adding Joe.
Yeah, so we-
is this
Thank
the
you.
one?
Go ahead. Come on, Chris pulled you back in,
I was
Joe.
gonna say, first thing is a draft, and I put in this thing about the covering is the second sentence, but I didn't finish the first sentence. So that's, somewhere in there has to say that it's to be covered. The second thing is that, yeah, we have to, I didn't know what to say about storage, but we have to define what storage means, and also what time of the year. But basically, the way this law is written now is that you can only have a boat, and I put it in as a kayak and jet ski, but you can only have a boat, either in the rear yard or in the portion of the driveway that's, against the house.
For the winter.
And winter storage, yeah, and then,
Well, I think maybe we need to go back and look at the whole thing, because storage is one thing, but you got to shuffle 6 cars just to put your kayak in the driveway, and you're going back out tomorrow. I think we're gonna, I think we have to put a time frame on this, because winter storage is one thing. Summer storage should be a lot more lenient. I'm okay with. I mean, you might not care, but I think a couple of kayaks in the front lawn for the summer here and there, I don't have a problem with it, because it's a summer community. It's not, to me, I mean, like, you go look at, I don't know, I don't want to take that away
Why
from
don't
this
they not
village.
in the kayak rack? Is that why we have it?
No, because some people don't do that. Some people don't use the kayak rack. I mean, we have the kayak rack, but I don't know. I'm not in the market to police it to that much. You want to leave your kayak, people have expensive kayaks. They have those paddle things. They want to keep it at the house, walk it down. They put it on their car. They go somewhere else. I don't know. I don't want to get that nitpicky. If we want to do it by season, that might solve a lot. Well, that's December. So that's December to December 1st is kayaks to the rack, and then we let people start putting them back in April 1st. Yeah. I'm okay with that. Or you say that they can't be stored there for a period of more than X during the summer, and X and in the winter they can't be stored there, period. Well, I think in the summer, I mean, to your point, if someone's got 14 paddle boards in their front yard, I don't want that. That's a little too much. And if they just drop them there in June and they don't touch them again until October, that's too much. But if they leave them there for a week or two, I don't care.
Right.
So maybe we have to revisit this.
So let's say this paragraph is the law now, or this is with your suggestion?
So my suggestion, so just to get a discussion going. So I could say that they can be varied from May 1st through October 31st. They can be left in the front yard for temporary, transient usage
are we gonna separate boats and jet skis from canoes and kayaks? Right. Because boats shouldn't be, it's a different thing, I think. So I think we need to I think we have to redefine, can we redefine what a boat is so that this doesn't, I don't know. We need to revisit this. Let's circle back to this, but I think, I mean, given
Aren't you registered something as a boat?
we have in our law, it says registered or unregistered. It's already, so we have to, I think, Joe, we have to look at the definition of boat because it's in a couple of different places and we have to make sure it lines up to this. So we'll circle back to this, yes? Okay. All right. Okay, resident requests. We have 19 Birchwood has requested a berm to address stormwater runoff in the road. Rich Parrish and Mike Chiappi both surveyed the property and they agree that the water is coming from the road and that we should burn it up so that they've got like a gully happening.
Are they paying?
No, we are paying for it because it's coming from our road. We're causing it. It's not their fault that our road is flooding their property. So
This is the same property that we talked about previously and said we were going to do that. Exactly that, right? That we were going to have to look at it.
yeah, this is
Circle
it.
back.
They looked at it finally and
And determine that it is.
they said
It
it's
is
coming
runoff
from
on
the,
the road.
it's not, doesn't have to be like a huge berm. They said that they may suggest that they also berm part of their driveway, so we're gonna have to have somebody go back there, look at it, price it, and go forward. But I'm just giving you enough, basically I'm a little prematurely advising that this has been approved by building and stormwater, and now we have to figure out a way to do it, but it will be on the village's dime because it is the village. Yeah. Village landscaping, Darlene, got anything?
Yeah, so, I got the contract to review them all, I went through the village, and each sections that they were. I actually think they do a really good job, things seem to be very up to snuff at this point.
I think you put this on for me. Can I go to executive?
No, we are in a minute.
Can we get the contract to sign and send back to them?
No,
No,
I didn't
no,
get that yet. I'm just taking over.
She's
from-
taking over the making sure,
That we follow, that they're following.
yeah, everyone's got their little,
So they're following the contract as is now, and I actually think the property is really good. I went to the park, they were doing the common areas, and they went through the usually, so.
okay.
And you haven't gotten any complaints or anything like that, I mean, we have.
But yeah.
Okay.
I think that there's, some, operational guidelines should be
In the
in the
contract.
contract moving forward.
I think we need to, I mean, I think we're gonna have to look at like full bid packages and that's gonna be on our radar coming up because when we did the bidding for the street cleaning and potholes, we're all of our contracts, we need to sit down and kind of revisit that whole arena as far as contracts and bids and include, I guess, contractor behavior.
Yeah, the safety.
Safety, right.
And I think,
That's what I meant.
That was
Yeah,
not
like-
my, I wasn't tasked with
She wasn't tasked
that.
with
I
that
was
one.
tasked with doing this, and that's what I did.
All right,
It's a
that's
more, it's
good.
a more recent development.
Yeah.
Okay, so now, commissioner reports, Chris, you are the liaison of commissioners now, so we got, how many did we get total?
So we asked for 5, we got 5.
Okay,
So, we're breaking it up. This month we're doing easements. Next month we'll be doing the 25A corridor and the trustees park. And then in November, we're gonna tackle the California Park and Walnut Beach reports that I received. But all the commissioners responded and everyone was great to work with, so an
awesome.
excellent start in that regard. So the one we got from here was the easement commissioner report. Ron Cagle was our easement commissioner. He looked at Falls Path. He said there's some deterioration in the steps below the new ones at the top and at the bottom. On the level portion, the top of the wall, 2 to the left as you were going down and around in several spots. He removed some garbage and debris, and he said the top area could do with the sweeping. So
Where's this?
this is on Paul's path.
Falls?
Paul's path. He put
Steve's
Steve, yeah, that's probably what he meant right there. So that would be right over by.
Well, Stephen Paul,
So-
Stephen Paul.
Okay,
He might add a new person.
I'm adding him.
He might have renamed
The
it.
otter adds him.
So yes, so you know we all know the
All right,
path he's
Steve's
referring to. Steps from Village Hall area, which are directly next to you.
That one we know.
No name.
Okay.
No,
That's up for naming.
That might be Paul.
Naming rights.
We can
just
name
everyone
that
do
Paul.
your
That
best.
one, that one might be Paul's path now. It's in good shape. Some ivy growing into path places, which
Okay.
needs to be addressed. Path from Walnut to Tennis Court in good shape. It is rustic with a lot of roots sticking up, but no reason to do anything with it in his determination. And he said there's a few other so-called easements off Van Brunt Manor Road. They're just really driveways and are in good condition. In his opinion. So
All right. So, why don't you send me his little repair list? Because it sounds like mostly handyman. Kind of, we'll have him address it. We'll have him look at what Ron sent, and if there's any major things that he needs to address.
This is the list. Is there, did he send in a repair list?
No, that's it. I'm just saying, we're gonna take that
he wants
list.
me to bullet
Bullet it.
point
Okay.
these little.
problem.
Well, you don't even have to bullet point it. I'm gonna take that and send it to Dave.
Yeah.
And we'll have Dave go look at all the little things. Nothing on that list sounds like it even warrants a discussion. It's just me.
No, it's he didn't have anything other than this, and then for the other reports, everything's in the trustee sheriff folder and the commissioner report, so you can review them in advance.
All right. Last thing before we go into executive session and then do open items from the village attorney. So entry sign, I sent everybody the information. Somebody hit our entry sign in the Van Brunt Manor entry sign. It is toast. It's destroyed. I'm almost wondering if we should just remove it at this point.
Because it
Because
has the secret.
not really, but yeah, maybe. I think we should just have Dave take it. Yeah. Anyway, the police sent us a report. We initiated an insurance claim. The parent of the person who hit has requested that we withdraw the claim and allow him to compensate us individually because they have a young child and their insurance, and there was a lot of personal issues, and they requested it. So I took I had pictures of the sign, measured the sign, sent it to Signorama to get an estimate. To recreate that sign, obviously, because it's a custom sign, they can only recreate it as they can. It's $5,446.98. So I think it's pretty. I'm okay if this person wants to give us $5,500. I think we can. I mean, we were talking about redoing it. We can take the money and utilize it at a different point. If we decide to do that, we have to be very clear with the individual that we are taking the money, and we need to let him know what we're doing, and we can release it. But what I don't want to happen is a lot of back and forth in administrative, because he had made suggestions about escrow accounts. He had made suggestions about him repairing it. He has mentioned to Jess that he's under the impression that the sign's made out of foam. So I don't want this to turn into a long discussion. So I think pretty much here's the amount. If you want to give us a bank check, we'll take it. That's great. If not, we just go back to insurance.
Here's your options.
That's
Option A
that's
and option
pretty
B.
simple. Everybody,
Yeah, give him like 10 days.
yeah. All right. So, and no, he wants this expedited. He wants it to the
So we're
decision
giving
to.
him 10 days to respond to us.
To give the money.
Okay, but I can't withdraw the claim until he pays us.
Yeah,
And
Right.
if he wants to expedite, he can give it to us the next day.
And then
Right.
we'll do it.
Bank check is good.
Yeah, we'll tell him bank check.
Okay.
I
All right.
agree with scrapping the sign.
Well, I mean, we were talking about. We have been talking. The PCA's been talking about
new signs. So I would not want to, while we have the PCA talking about getting new signs, I would not want to spend $5,000 to build a sign only to scrap it 2 years from now. So I would just take it off, and when we're ready to do another sign,
Use that money.
use that money.
But know that that money's already earmarked
For
that.
the sign.
Yes.
Keep it aside, and that's that. Unless there's a huge snowstorm and we're, bankrupt, then we'll use the sign money and not have a sign. All right, so that's that. Joe, do you want to do executive session, or do you want to do, okay, so, motion to, what do I do? Can you just do it for me? I don't do this right
It's a
every
motion
time.
to go into- Excuse me, it's a motion to go into executive session to discuss, possible litigation.
Okay, motion to go into executive session to discuss possible litigation. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. And callers that are on, I'm just going to mute you, and we will be back.
I'm going.
You're gonna pause it? You got it?
Yep.
All right. Thanks, man.
We're off the camera now?
No, we're not off camera.
Or just off mic? That's what I meant. Let's see how it goes.
Need a map to get out.
This conference
We
will
should
now be recorded.
Ron, we're back. All right. Motion to resume, motion to adjourn executive session. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to resume the work session. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Joe, open items for the board to review from the village attorney. Do you think we covered it?
I had a number of items I wanted to discuss with you, but they were all discussed, as we went through the items previously. So
Okay.
I don't have anything else to bring up.
Okay, so, motion to adjourn the work session at 8:30 PM. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Shall we just go right into our next
Yes.
pledge? Okay, motion to, call to order the business session at 8:30 PM. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty.
And justice for all.
Okay. Announcements. The Poquot Community Association Halloween event at Trustees Park will take place on Saturday, October 26th from 2 to 5 p.m. Volunteers are needed for trunk or treat cars. Please contact Poquot Community Association at gmail.com if you are interested. The 2025 PCA Barbecue and Cardboard Regatta is scheduled for August 9th.
Completed.
What? Completed?
Well, it's just
No, it's for
2025.
2025.
Oh,
2025.
2025, okay. No, that's the next one. We
Yeah.
bookmarked it.
We were.
Okay, reports, public safety.
Marty,
All the
book
same
again.
points about July first. On the phone. 6 contracts for Christ. Calls, there was 6. Incident reports, there was 29. 6 noise complaints, 3 property maintenance, 1 traffic, walking. 1 suspicious incident, 1 dog bite. 1 shoot for permit, 1 unregistered boat trailer, 2 stop work orders, 3 suspicious persons, 4 vehicles, 1 information, 1 fire alarm, 4 code violations, 1 storm water, 1 suspicious incident, 1 information, and 1 storm damage completed. Parking violations, address code 31, body of life warning 31, special event permit code 26, stormwater violations 71, field appearance statements issued 4.
Thank you.
Good work, awesome. Treasurer's report, Ron?
Yes, From the executive summary that I sent out, uh, most of the topics that we would want to deal with now are mentioned there. Uh, I don't know if the board wants to put on for the agenda for the next meeting, uh, budget transfers. I've made some recommendations there, and I can get into further discussion with Jess or Tina or Natalie uh, to carry it forward to the next board meeting. But as Jess has pointed out, we do in our policy talk about making budget transfers quarterly or, in my opinion, at least semi-annually uh, to deal with items that we know are going to be over budget for the year. So to be in compliance with policy and also to meet the requests of RSA, we ought to be doing something, and maybe next meeting would be a good time to do it.
That would be good. If you want, you can recirculate and like update and recirculate, and we'll do it for October. Does that work?
Works for me. I don't know if everybody else is okay. Yes.
Thoughts?
Yeah, October's good.
Yeah.
Everyone's good
Yep.
with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
The only, obviously, the thing that my notes and we haven't dealt with yet is what happened with the storm. So I can't propose numbers until we get something concrete with regard to that. I can only provide certain guides as to when the village would be in difficulty. It's I would say it'd be impossible for the village to be in difficulty with regard to its cash position. However, uh, uh, the the amount of cash that we have at year end is usually over 100,000. So unless the uncovered amounts or the unreimbursed amounts for this storm work.
Yeah, but I mean, I think the storm work right now, I'm just doing the math real quick. The storm work right now, we're under 15,000. And as you know, we discussed it with as I mentioned with the board, we will be getting some level of reimbursement. So I think we have between what we have in the New York class account and the fund balance, we've got ample money to cover this and then hopefully get reimbursed before snow happens. But even so, I don't see this right now, besides what we have to do at Walnut, which is pending. Right now, in the short term, we're under 15,000 for what we're going to be doing, and the other one's going to be more of a long-term project. It might be something we even spread out over the year. I have to find out more once we put that application in. So I
Okay, well,
think,
then, but in any case, cash is not an issue. Fund
okay,
balance, minimum fund balance question, as long as the numbers for the repair work doesn't approach 60, 70, 80,000, there won't be a problem with that. I would say as long as it's under 60,000 for the uncovered work, it'll be fine.
okay, great. All right,
And
thanks,
any questions?
No, thanks,
Ron.
Ron.
No, we're good. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right,
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to sign out. I have to leave town tomorrow for a while.
we don't blame you. We all want to leave town right now.
Well, you guys are working. You deserve a vacation.
All right,
Thanks, Ron.
thanks, Ron.
I'll probably see you next time.
Okay, final court report. We have a guest in the premises. We have former trustee and deputy mayor Jacqueline Taylor's here to do her last and final court report.
Post-water internal court oversight trustees from June 30th, 2022 through June 30th, 2024. Met with Leslie Murray, court clerk, August 28th, 2024, to review courts below for the above timeframe. 1, list of all tickets received by the court. 2, monthly cash log of funds received. Review with Frank Schaefer, chief of department, village of Hopewell, parking ticket loss for the above timeframe. Confirmed with Frank Schaefer that ticket log for tickets number 1641, 1673 were accounted for and then reviewed and confirmed with Leslie Murray that these tickets were received with the following exceptions. Exception 1, ticket 1642 was voided due to error in writing and was replaced by ticket 1643. Ticket 1662 was voided as vehicle was parked off the roadway. Ticket 1663 was voided as special event permit was on file. Ticket number 1670 was voided as special event permit was on file. In my review with court clerk, there was one ticket number 1751, which is out of sequence with above ticket log. Frank Schaefer is checking and will advise me on September 16th. This report will be amended and provided to the board with this update. Every month, a report of Hopewell Justice Court cases for months court was held was presented to the board. This report reflected cases opened and closed and verified that the amounts reported taken in each month matched the check that was payable to the village of Hopewell. These checks were submitted in a timely manner. Deposit of these checks into village bank account is responsibility of Marilyn Hoffman, Hopewell Village.
Hand the torch over, Darlene's.
Can I have that paragraph?
I'm gonna wait till Frank gets back to me, okay? Because there's that one ticket that I need, and then I'll.
All right, we have no public hearings, public comments? Anybody? No? Okay. Resolutions. Ready? There's a couple that I changed on the fly based on the IMA, so there's some that I'm gonna just interrupt and read because I have them a little bit different on my list. So, Resolution 09-2024-01, resolution adopting September 12th, 2024 agenda as printed. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 09-2024-02, resolution accepting the monthly reports from September 12th, 2024. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 09-2024-03, resolution adopting the minutes from the July 1st, 2024 organizational meeting of the Board of Trustees. So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 09-2024-04, resolution adopting the minutes from July 1st, 2024 work session of the Board of Trustees meeting. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Resolution 09-2024-05, resolution adopting the minutes from the July 1st, 2024 business session of the Board of Trustees meeting. So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 09-2024-06, resolution to schedule the Village of Hopewell Board of Trustees work session beginning at 6 p.m. on October 17th, 2024, with business meeting to follow immediately. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 09-2024-07, resolution to approve invoice from Earthworm for emergency tree removal in the amount of $750. So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'll read this one. I'll read the next two. Resolution 09-2024-08, resolution to approve estimate from Earthworm for emergency repair of California Park boat ramp in the amount of $3,500. So moved. All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 09-2024-09, resolution to approve the estimate from Earthworm for emergency repair of Van Brunt Manor Road, Washington Street, and Adams Birchwood roads in the amount of $6,500. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Take it. Go. Whoever's
Resolution
next.
09-2024-10, resolution approving the hiring of Cindy Slider as a deputy clerk at the rate of $25 per hour effective August 14th, 2024. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 09-2024-11, resolution setting up a public hearing at the October 17th, 2024 meeting for a proposed local law amending section 169-10, term of permit, fee of chapter 169 vehicles and traffic. So moved.
Second.
Okay, we got to table the next one. Resolution number 09-2024-12. What do I say when I want to table it?
Motion to table.
Motion to table? So moved. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Resolution 09-2024-13, resolution accepting the intermunicipal agreement with the town of Brookhaven for fire marshal services and and authorizing the mayor to execute the contract as per the terms approved by the Board of Trustees. So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Let me read this next two. Joe, can the village tip? Are we allowed to tip a bus driver when we hire a bus? Can we include that in our?
No.
Damn it. Okay. All right. So I guess everyone's going to pitch in a tip individually out of their own pockets when we go out to Scova?
Yes.
Okay. Resolution 09-2024-14, resolution approving the cost of October 9th Scova training and transportation not to exceed, what's our total?
578 plus 75 times 750.
So not to exceed $1,500 in case somebody
Yeah.
else signs on. Not to exceed $1,500. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution to approve the proposal from, resolution, what's it called? BNK. Resolution number 09-2024-15, resolution to approve the proposal from Bonchonek and King for the determination of riparian rights for 9 Chestnut Avenue, contingent on the property owner being advised in writing of said fees and their responsibility of payment in advance to acceptance of proposal. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 09-2024-16, resolution approving increased shipping costs of $200 from Traffic Logics for speed humps. So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 09-2024-17, resolution to allow clerk Catani to obtain quotes for burn installation for the purpose of stormwater management at 19 Birchwood Avenue. So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution number 09-2024-18, resolution appointing Keith Elmer as deputy building inspector for a term of 3 months at the per project rates as followed. Plans and first inspection, $250 for 1,000 square feet or less, $350 for 1,001 square feet to 2,000 square feet, $450 for 2,001 square feet to 4,500 square feet, $550 to $600 for 4,501 square feet or greater. Subsequent inspections, $250 per inspection. Related meetings included in above project fees. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I got 3 to read. Resolution number 09-2024-19, resolution to approve estimate from Earthworm for the emergency repair of storm drain curbing on Birchwood in the amount of $2,500. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 09-2024-20, resolution accepting the intermunicipal agreement with the town of Brookhaven for road and drain repair and maintenance, and authorizing the mayor to execute the contract as per the terms approved by the Board of Trustees. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 09-2024-21, resolution accepting direct reimbursement of $5,000. Listen to this one because I just made it up. Resolution to accept direct reimbursement of $5,446.98 by bank check for a cost of replacing Van Brunt Manor Road entryway sign from Eric Pearson of 368 Main Street, parent of party responsible for its destruction. Does it work?
I would probably amend that to take his name, have the record reflect that it's amended, to take his name out and address and just say from the party, responsible.
From the okay. Cost of replacing Van Brunt Manor Road entryway sign from the party responsible for its destruction. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is that good?
Yes. That's great.
It was. Did I
A lot of them on
move? Did I
the
move?
spot.
Did I move the needle in any direction?
Yeah.
Who is on this speaker?
I have one thing, could you, the one about the SCOVA, how much did we put?
1,500.
1,500.
1,500.
Pardon?
15.
I thought believe it was 1,700.
It was 15.
I said 1,500,
So I recommend you approve 1,700,
just in case we have other people. Okay,
just 1,700.
okay.
In case the bill is 1,700.
Alright. Want to read the bills now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ready?
You gotta speed read them. Oh my
You
God.
ready?
It's a really thick list of.
I know, that's what I'm like, wow. this is-
Oh,
Oh,
so,
Chico.
I'm sorry, could you vote to amend that?
Oh, yeah.
I apologize.
Oh, okay.
I should have,
Do I have to rescind it and redo it?
It's a motion. I propose a motion, it's my recommendation, I propose a motion to the board to amending resolution 09-2024-14, approving a payment to SCOVA for training and transportation, that the amount be amended to $1,750.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
1,900.
Alright, yeah, do I get that? So first one, we've got Home Depot for $16.46.
Sorry.
Next, we've got construction in the amount of $195.15. PSEG Long Island in the amount of $371.23. PSEG Long Island in the amount of $14.13. Solano Brokerage Corporation in the amount of $40,303.74. Small Business Management Solutions in the amount of $616.22. Times Speaking Record in the amount of $117.88. And Transforming Solutions Corporation in the amount of $1,644.25. For a total of $43,262.80. Next, we have the First National Visa credit card for, we have Amazon in the amount of $81.14, Mount Sinai Wheel Alignment in the amount of $302.87, USPS in the amount of $206.59, and Web iPower in the amount of $1,094.94 for a total of $1,685.54. Next, we have Axe Creatives in the amount of $112.50, Lund Valve Testing Corp in the amount of $165, Optimum in the amount of $135.16, Suffolk County Village Officials Association dues in the amount of $1,250, Times Speaking Record in the amount of $172.56, West Bank in the amount of $181.49, and Winter Brothers Hauling of Long Island, $11,532 for a total of $13,548.71. Next, we have Amazon for in the amount of $200.60. Next, we've got Ace Hardware in the amount of $404.84. Progress Cleaning in the amount of $400. Call Ahead Corp in the amount of $226. Canon Financial Services in the amount of $239.52. Transforming Solutions Corp in the amount of $2,125. And Wellsback Electric of Long Island in the amount of $616.80. For a total of $3,586.42. Next, we have Call Ahead in the amount of $80. Paul Edelson in the amount of $250. Flint Stenography and Transcription in the amount of $658.30. Parkline Asphalt and Maintenance in the amount of $49,600. Print Solutions LLC in the amount of $648.57. RS Abrams in the amount of $4,700. Trophy Hut for $105 even. Verizon Wireless in the amount of $100.88 for a total of $56,142.75. Next, we have the Home Depot credit card in the amount of $333.06. Next, we have Joseph Prokop in the amount of $2,143.75. PSEG in the amount of $374.78. PSEG again for $14.13. PSEG again in the amount of $620.12. And PSEG again for $41.90. Small Business Management Solutions in the amount of $540.69. And Suffolk County Board of Elections in the amount of $119.85 for a total of $3,855.22. We have Axe in the amount of $112.50. Roof Cleaning in the amount of $320. Call Ahead in the amount of $180. Construction for $195.15. General Code Publishers Corp for $1,195. Optimum for $135.16. Traffic Logics in the amount of $8,732.56. West Bank in the amount of $180.99. Winter Brothers of Long Island for $11,532 for a total of $22,583.30. We've got Axe
Creatives for $172.50. Paula had quote in the amount of $180. Construction for $195.15. Dave's Tree Service for $150. Earthworm for $750. Optimum for $135.16. PSEG for $423.97. PSEG for $14.13. Wasteworm and Son for $450, and Winter Brothers Hauling for $11,532 for a total of $14,002.91. Amazon we have for a total of $256.21. Next we have Paula Head for $20, Paul Edelson for $250, Joseph Prokop for $2,712.50. Small Business Management Solutions for $588.71, and Transforming for $1,644.45. For a total of $6,860.11. Next, we have petty cash reimbursement for $81.42, and Verizon Wireless for $183.08, and for a total of $264.50. Canon Financial Services for $179, Taylor Rental for $1,145.80. Oh, a total of $1,903.77 for a total of $2,082.77. Next, we have First National Visa credit card again for a total of $3,458.40.
Jeremy, end it.
So
Oh, wait, you don't have the right number. Hold on, I'll do it.
it's 22.
You're like, it's 22. Resolution
It is 22.
09-2024-22, resolution approving all checks per the voucher report. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to adjourn. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The meeting is over.
At 8:54 p.m.
So.
I would like to say that we were not notified that there was going to be an executive session.
I would have